Hello and good morning, everybody, and good afternoon, and no good evening this time, as we have the pleasure to have Kris with us, who made it happen and made it possible to join us just a little earlier than we are normally on the timetable of your regular viewing, and such is that we are reunion. So we will be Four Musketeers in a minute, to say so, and we have the pleasure to have Kris Billmaier back again. And as it is a learning period, and yet as we had a little chit chat, there's just 1 year roughly ago that we have discussed about what was the easy start to Salesforce Starter, playing with little words and marketing wrapping of the Starter edition, that we would like to learn a bit more on what Kris has to share about the Starter edition. Having said that, we are happy that you can make it today, as with your current responsibility for the Starter editions and Dreamforce 2024 coming up in September, there's a lot of things to drive forward. You are a seasoned technology executive with a strong background in product management and business development. Kris has extensive experience in launching new products and building companies from the ground up. Currently, he holds a leadership position at Salesforce, where he oversees self-service and growth products. Prior to Salesforce, he worked at Microsoft for 7 years, and known for his passion for technology and building strong teams, Kris is a skilled at creating innovative products person and driving customer adoption. And what was my honest learning there is he is also a baseball champion, or in a league playing a minor league maybe. So if I would be in soccer, I would have said, yeah, I go with more with the poor dogs and not with the rising stars. My heart is with those which show that they can improve and go forward. I think that it's marvelous that you had also there the attitude that you are the right man to pitch the ball, to say so, in the field of the SMB market and the players and customers, your potential and existing ones, to make them more successful. Welcome back, Kris.
Thank you so much for having me. That's potentially the best introduction I've ever had. And you mined my LinkedIn profile deeply. You had to go below the fold to actually see the baseball player experience. So yes, time to blush very much for me. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I'm super happy to be back here with you guys. Man, it doesn't feel like a year since we've been together last, but it's really great to be back. There's so much that's happened, and I'm really excited to jump in. You mentioned kind of my role at Salesforce, but just kind of to double click on that, I've been in this role for a couple of years now, and I'm accountable for our Starter and Professional Edition products here at Salesforce, which are really the entry points to CRM, where self-service is important, user growth is important, and we really want to target those SMBs who are just starting out and getting ready. So I'm really excited to talk to you about what we've been doing, where we're at in our journey, and honestly love your feedback and just get into the hard questions.
We never have hard questions.
Never have
hard questions.
No,
you came to the wrong place, bro.
I was told nothing but hard questions today.
It's not the hot chair. We are the empathy troop here. We love positive emotions. We dig in. And what we had as a leftover, to say so, from last year, from our last conversation, when everything was brand new, shiny, flashy, and just one version of the Starter edition. We are now in the progressing 1 year after it. We have a flashy new UI. We have the benefit that Starter editions are one of the first to go for it. And so it is somehow very interesting to see how things were developing, who is buying you, and in which regions to start with. And we know that our friend was nearly exploding of curiosity how it will make its way in Latin America. And we were naturally very curious how it is doing in Europe. So,
Yeah,
over
I think it's a great lead in. So we started out in October of last year with kind of a ramp across geos. And by the end of the year, we were effectively worldwide. And what we've seen so far has been great pickup, excitement from our field and from our customers about the offering that we're bringing together. And really the combination of the suite of sales, service, marketing, and commerce with Data Cloud on by default in both Starter and in Pro really allow the SMB customer to focus on the jobs to be done across all of those different experiences. And that's what we've seen. And that's what's really resonating in the field is that, hey, I have this one solution that I can start my customers out on. And the great thing about Salesforce is you never outgrow it. So I can grow up. And that's actually what we've seen pretty significantly. One of the learnings we've had in the last year, kind of regardless of region, the customers come in, they start out, they start using our products, and then they figure out what they actually need to succeed with their company. And a lot of our customers we see growing out of Starter very quickly, which is great because we want them to experience the power of the platform. And we want them to find the purpose-built solutions that they need that might not exist in Starter, but do exist in other editions that we have.
You wanted a hard question. Here is one. So the major difference between a small business and Salesforce is size. So from what I often see and hear is that some companies are actually, smaller companies are actually afraid of Salesforce because of size, difference in size. So this is kind of the gorilla sitting in front of the mouse. Yeah. So how do you comfort and create confidence for those customers?
Well, a lot of our customers do categorize themselves as small business. It's a really good question because I think part of the overall of this program was to make sure that companies of any size, really, not just small business, have a simple but powerful way to get started with Salesforce. I think at times there is this kind of unwarranted idea that Salesforce only has products that are expensive, built for enterprise, potentially complex, potentially requiring admin. That's just not the case. And we've proved that with Starter and with Pro Suite, and more so with our Enterprise Edition and above. It's become usability and user experience have become a massive focus at Salesforce. And I just really think it's a misnomer to think that we aren't purpose-built for small business or small teams within enterprise that just need to go fast. I think the interesting thing too is everybody talks about small business differently. Everybody has a different idea of what a small business means. And for me, I'm just trying to build the tools, and our team is just trying to build the tools to execute on the jobs that are most common for our customers and what they need to get their job done and get back effectively.
So what is a small business for you?
I actually don't like to put a categorization on it because I think it's limiting. I think for me, I'm the products that we build fit businesses of potentially all sizes. It's more use case driven than it is I have X number of employees driven.
You have had the explanation, as we asked you last year, in a similar way, that you came across with the answer such as there are large entities which are building up a subsidiary and they are acting with that foreign country subsidiary like they are a startup. So it's an easy way to keep in the look and feel, have an org with Starter, and then grow out, as you just explained, when you are successful and it meets your needs to grow. Now, saying this, I'm curious on how I can mix it. I would be grateful if I, as an entrepreneur, could go out of the box with a Starter edition and then have also some seats, if it's possible, from in my team, such as in marketing with Starter Pro, and then have also the opportunity to call in some people after out of the box, which are helping me, for instance, in giving me a hand in customization.
Yeah, it's a really good question. So the way our edition stack works today is it basically requires that you're in an org on the same edition. But one of the things that we are doing, obviously, Starter is a suite, Pro is a suite, and you could grow up from Pro to Enterprise Edition. One of the things that we're actually piloting is the ability to retain all of your applications that are basically Starter applications as you grow up in different ways. So if you want more advanced sales features or more advanced service features, great. Buy those through Sales or Service Enterprise Edition, but retain your starter level of marketing, commerce, data cloud, etc. So you never lose the suite, and you can always grow up in different areas of the suite as you need.
Just as a follow-up to the idea of Salesforce being use case based, for whether across small business, large business, what are those use cases?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. We've actually built out, and this is one of those things where I'd love to jump into a demo, but we built out a Spotlight, what we call our Spotlight library, which is really kind of, think about it as cross-cloud use cases. So one of my favorites to always talk about is if you're a seller and you have an opportunity, that opportunity may have an open service case against it. What is your use case? Well, you need to absolutely solve for the customer's service case first, so they build trust. You can close your opportunity. When you're closing your opportunity, we have Commerce Pay Now functionality, so you could send a secure payment link to get paid fast by your customer. And then because we have marketing in the mix, you could send a loyalty campaign back to that customer, offering a discount, offering a thank you, whatever it might be. But that entirely loop closed right there across all of the products doesn't really talk about the product specifically. It more talks about the flow that you have with the customer. So that's just one, but there are a number. And all of that, Data Cloud sitting under all of that understands the customer across every aspect. So you're really consolidating and making a clear picture of that customer through every phase of that journey. Now, that's probably a month-long journey that I just outlined in 10 seconds, but gives the idea of around-the-clock use case that we could provide for our customers.
Now, this was a whole series of use cases. When do you see customers start? Your customers start?
I think it depends on what they've come for. So some customers come based for sales, some customers come based for service, and then for marketing, and then discover other areas of value down the line. I mean, the way I look at it, in SMB, you're probably wearing multiple hats a lot of the time. Obviously, there are exceptions to that, but a marketer can kind of overlap with the seller. And the reality is you're just looking at the same data set slightly differently with a different intention in mind. So it really just all blends together in my mind here.
Now, you mentioned 3 entry points. So which one is the dominant one that you see?
Oh, sales still is the dominant entry point for us. I would say, that's our bread and butter. That's our kind of what we're known for still. But I see more and more customers coming to us for a combination of sales and marketing. I think that's very natural. I think we have some announcements coming at Dreamforce around what we're doing with commerce that is going to be very interesting. Right now, we have Commerce Pay Now functionality, but what would it look like to have a more fully loaded storefront in this experience? And I think there's some very interesting use cases related to commerce storefront and service. So there are going to be more and more people coming to us for more tools outside of just sales.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, you're called Salesforce and not Serviceforce. Where do they graduate then? Do they go more into the direction of commerce, marketing, or service, or
so it's actually
down to the platform level actually?
Well, I'd say yes. It's yes.
Yes.
We've seen a lot of our customers. The great thing about bringing a multi-cloud product to bear is that you see a lot of customers growing up in a lot of different directions. So our multi-cloud growth has been great from Starter and from Pro. Customers graduate to Sales Cloud, Enterprise Edition, and beyond. But they also graduate to Marketing Cloud Growth, and they graduate to Service Cloud Enterprise Edition. And we only have a little bit of commerce in the product right now, but we're hoping more and more commerce will come in. And like I mentioned, we'll have some announcements at Dreamforce. But we see growth across the spectrum. And really, to me, that's our customers determining what they need in order to grow and to be successful. And if they've had success with us with the core experience of Starter, and they choose to grow into a bigger offering to take advantage of the power of the platform, which is another key aspect, we're excited about that. And again, this is one of those things where you just can't outgrow Salesforce.
No, it's hard, very hard on this planet.
That's right. One of the things you mentioned that's interesting, earlier, that I want to touch on is the growth path that is the platform growth path. The I would say most likely reason that a customer grows from Starter to Pro is because of that level of customization. The custom apps, custom objects, really the power of the platform that they see and need. And what's great is it's a one-step process to move from Starter to Pro to get that level of customization and really the power of Salesforce in the platform.
Where do you see your customers make let's say, the transition? So I mean, there is let's call it entry-level product, which is Starter.
Yeah.
And then you take one step up.
Yep.
And this step up, let's say, to Pro, and this step up you take if you have, let's call it a need. So how do you see, or what do you see is the main need that your customers do fulfill or establish when they are graduating or moving up?
It really is that level of customization that's needed as you advance as a company, getting out of kind of the base level version of Starter, which allows for field level customization on pages, but doesn't allow for that deep richness of the platform, which is flow, app level customization, custom app, custom objects. That's really the tipping point that we see more often than not for our customers. That, and then more enhanced sales and service features that exist within Pro Suite. Things like Service Console, which doesn't exist in Starter, does in Pro. Things like forecasting. As businesses grow, they need those more advanced tools. So it's a combination of all, but I would say the majority is based on the level of customization and personalization that we can provide in Pro Suite.
Yeah. Does that somehow differ across regions?
No, it does not.
Well,
The one thing that is different across regions is our timing on delivering Marketing Cloud. So Marketing Cloud, because Marketing Cloud is a new product that is built on core, so it's built on the same core stack as sales and service. It's been a progressive rollout. So certain countries, certain countries in EMEA, are just now getting our marketing functionality. So like I said, we're still a little early on, but what's great, we can just graduate this function, or just basically provision these orgs that exist for Marketing Cloud functionality at no extra cost, and they start using, again, another tool in our arsenal. In fact, we just went live with LATAM a couple months ago with our Marketing Cloud. The teams there are very thrilled with it, and we're excited about it. But certain areas are still waiting on it, like Japan will get Marketing Cloud later this year.
What about
So,
you? Sorry.
no.
I'm the German guy with the German curiosity driving
Yes.
me forward, and such as we last time had a bit you could not talk about it in the way you would like, probably. Are there some partners in German-speaking Europe at the starting point, or are they already getting their first lighthouse customers?
Well, we are reseller eligible in all geos, so we have seen some move in the reseller market for Starter and ProSuite, which is good. We also through ProSuite fully support App Exchange, so those regional partners who have built integrations via App Exchange are fully supported. I would say we haven't done really deep differentiated partnerships in different regions as of yet. We've more taken advantage of the tools that Salesforce has to offer, and kind of opened ourselves up to one reseller, to App Exchange, and really made those things available prevalently.
And to please our dear friend Jesus, oh my God, my Spanish is so bad. So, where our Latam friends, how's the uptake there?
Pretty good.
Or
I
the
think
uptake?
we're very close with our LATAM leadership. In fact, I have a monthly call with them, and they're very pleased. And I think we're, again, pretty early still, but I think there's a good opportunity for a lot of growth there, and we're starting to see it. So it's good. And I think the customer feedback has been very solid across. We kind of, regardless of geo, we set out originally to build a product and an experience that was simple for customers to use, yet incredibly powerful. And that's directly the feedback that we are getting. And what's really interesting is we've actually just launched a new user UI. So we call it our enhanced Lightning UI. It is Lightning, but it's a refresh of Lightning. And we've launched it for all of our Starter and ProSuite customers. We've also launched it in other editions, like new customers in Sales Cloud Enterprise Edition have access to it as well. But we started with Starter and with Pro, and we're just getting some great feedback. I'll read you a verbatim. The UI keeps getting more modern, and the objects I interact with get larger and easier to find and interact with. And so we're seeing ease of use and just kind of the whole feeling and vibe of the experience being embraced by our customers. And we're excited about modernizing the UI and bringing that to all editions over time.
What's the thinking of Marshall?
I think under that new UI, what new functions are there in Starter that you can discuss?
So it wasn't. This was strictly a UI refresh. So basically, it's Lightning, but it's enhancements in the UI, in the CSS. So we took, and what I'd say is kind of more modernized the experience, but we put specific focus on, like, it sounds kind of funny, but colors and button size and layout make a big difference.
Yeah.
And we really looked hard at that and user experience. We've actually seen job completion rate improve. I don't want to say failure rate decrease, but it's more people are getting more things done in the fashion that they need to, and not running into errors because of the UI overall. So I think of the UI itself as a product enhancement. Now we are continuing to build more and more functionality into Starter and into ProSuite. Since we've talked, we've launched what I've mentioned, the Spotlight library, which is a basic categorization of recipes and jobs to be done to get users started down a path that's contextual. So it might start out with things like, quickly import your contacts. But once you've done that, it's how do you set up email to case and do so easily in a couple of clicks for service users. So we're really trying to bring all of the power in Salesforce through these quick, easily digestible card recipe things. And like I mentioned, we're not slowing down. At Dreamforce, we're going to have several announcements of the commerce and likely of the AI variety as well.
You said the new UI started with Starter, or you
Yes.
started to roll out the new UI with Starter.
Yes.
Why? What is the rationale behind starting with Starter? Was it the better test bed, or what was the thinking behind it?
So because Starter doesn't allow for much customization, it was basically component driven. So we looked at every single component that was in Starter and we applied this new UI to it. And component by component, Starter had the least number of components. So it was the quickest, followed by Pro Suite. But what we quickly realized was this is going to be applicable for every edition very fast. And so we're excited. Like you'll see more of the new UI at Dreamforce. You'll see more of the UI across more of our products at Dreamforce. And it's a very light lift for customers. It's going to be something that's seamless for new users, and eventually something for existing customers that they can just turn on when and if they choose. For Starter, it made it easier because of the lack of customization that is there. To just flip it on for all of our customers. And we've seen existing and new, and we've seen great response.
Has there been any call for more industry-based functionality?
It's a really good question. There has been graduation to industry from Starter, from Pro Suite. I actually think there is a lot more that we will do with industry in time. We're really focused on building out the horizontal right now. But that said, we know that every customer has a particular industry that they're involved in. So I could see things like lightweight industry templates over time. There are a lot of I wouldn't say SMB. There are a lot of SMB industry customers that we serve with our industry products, and we want to make sure that we're doing what we can to bring the power of industry into Starter and Pro as well.
If you would, there's this question: what is more urgent, more important, more AI or more industry? What's your take on that?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't. I mean,
like to be in that field.
Assuming that you can't have both with limited capacity.
The answer to my question is yes. Your question is yes again. But here's my hot take is that customers are very interested in AI and exploration and figuring out their AI strategy. And right now we have the more predictive AI through Einstein that's tried and true at Salesforce. You'll see us do more with out-of-the-box things around AI at Dreamforce and in the months following Dreamforce. So I think our priority right now is making sure that we give our customers an experience with AI that they can start dipping their toes in, understanding it, understanding Salesforce AI strategy holistically, and how it applies to them with the trust layer and kind of the ability in higher editions to build prompts, to create the AI that you need based on our platform. So I think that will end up being the first order bit for us.
So industry AI.
If you can fund a bunch of engineers my way, I'll do it all.
I guess so. You are wholehearted embracing your new child and drive it forward with enthusiasm and a lot of energy.
Yes.
With that, observing and knowing some of the requests from the market, and we have sorted that probably some of your business partners create some templates they put in the App Exchange with some industry-like touch, so that you can focus on AI. On the recent briefing we had as analysts, it was that you created nearly roughly a year after Starter Edition has seen the light and was given to the market. You have the trust layer in AI, and now you are going with benchmarkings. Can you give us a hint on how these impressionable and very good-looking benchmarks, if one is comparing what Salesforce is delivering towards the rest of the world has a detailed benefit for your editions?
Yeah, I think, well, one, the great thing about building on core of Salesforce is you get, I mean, trust has been our number one value for as long as I've been at the company and for years before. So the great thing about building on the core of Salesforce is you just get all of those trust layer value by default. And you get all of the benchmarking that goes along with our enterprise edition and above as we bring features down into Starter and Pro. The one thing I will say about our direction with Starter and Pro as it pertains to AI is to have great AI, you need great data. And to have great data, you need to leverage applications to build that data. And for us, what I think is really, really powerful as customers start on their AI journey is they have all of the applications in Starter and Pro already running at their disposal. They already have Data Cloud on by default. So we really can help understand you as a company versus you as I'm a sales org, or I'm a service org, or I'm a marketing org or customer. We understand the 360, and bringing it together with Data Cloud really makes you AI ready from the start with clean data, with easily accessible data. And what we're planning to do is bring kind of some default AI experiences into the product so that customers won't have to set things up, won't have to be computer scientists. They can just out of the box, couple of clicks, and have experiences that are AI driven for them. And you can see as we just launched, not for Starter and Pro specifically, but we just launched a bunch of AI templates on our website that are very much prompts that we've built that customers can gain access to that are default for higher tier editions. But we expect to bring some of those down into Starter and Pro so our customers can get access and start learning.
Data now is a great topic, especially when it comes to AI. As you just said,
Yes.
there is a bunch. Well, there are a bunch of challenges with it. First, it's not clean. It just isn't. Yeah, so it's probably not as black as our shirts, but dark gray. How does the Starter and the Starter Pro platform support getting this data clean?
Well, I think
keeping it clean then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is some hygiene that you as a customer you need to adhere to, right? The data that you put into the system, we're only as good as the data that is fed into the system, right?
Yeah.
But I think if kind of I look at the entire picture and the entire stack of what we're doing with Starter and with Pro Suite, you don't need to implement Data Cloud, right? Data Cloud is there, and Data Cloud is really the foundational element here that captures all data from all of the apps. And so, Marketing Cloud segmentation and profile unification and commerce capabilities, those are all running on top of Data Cloud. Sales and service on core already have that kind of mindset of data coming together. So as you put data into the system, or as you capture experiences and events from your customers through those applications, it just works. And so I think I have the benefit, again, of like the power of the platform of Salesforce, where we made the decision early on that Data Cloud would be on and running in all of these orgs. The idea that the customer 360 can be shaped by us and not at a later date, we try and pull everything together and stitch it. It's already stitched. So we're giving our customers a starting point to create the cleanest possible data with a Data Cloud underneath that is just bringing everything together at the right time for our customers, which makes these customers AI ready with clean data and clean orgs effectively. And I think that's so important as we move into this next phase of AI.
Right. And as you said, Starter and Starter Pro are not things that you migrate off of. You just build upon them. So there's no discontinuity.
Correct. So I think we're really at a good, like we've created something I think is really good for our customers and really great for growth. And that's, we talk about SMB, But I kind of like to think about growth because customers grow, SMBs grow up every day, and that's what we want to solve for. We want to solve for those customers who are going to be SMBs for life, and they just need a core set of tools which Starter can provide. But we also want to solve for those customers who start out SMB day 1, enterprise day 400, and in that rapid progression, we can support them at every phase of their journey. And I like to talk about, as our customers have success, they grow, and we grow up with them and have mutual success.
So you have defined SMB by the role to be taken, the job to be done, but you were not very much into what your perspective is from 1 to how many you see SMB.
I think as a company, we categorize it as 1 to 200 or 1 to 250. But I think that we say that, and that's our segmentation. But again, I think it would be, I don't like to talk about our products as, hey, it's only for this size company. It's only for this segment.
Perfectly understood. Yeah.
But so that's why I kind of shy away from naming it with a number. Okay. That's just kind of my, I feel it's limiting.
It is. In which industries do you see the highest uptake of Starter and Pro?
So we see a lot of HLS customers starting on Pro Suite specifically, and then growing up from there. That, I mean, you could imagine, you know, our major industries are the areas where we get the most push, similar to how we get the most push from, you know, customers interested in sales, because we've made our reputation there. But you know, as Marshall questions, the industry template model and more industries and industries that are, you know, specific to SMB, like I think of things like financial services, where you have a couple of advisors in an office as a perfect future target for things like Starter and Pro with industry templates on top. So very future facing for us, but I'm excited about like that path as we get there.
Looking forward to 2024, 2025, what are your, let's say, roadmap insights you can share a bit with us?
Well, I shared some. I think we really want to embrace the power of the core applications, and we've got more to do with our marketing products. So you'll see more there, which is exciting. We've got more to do with our commerce products, so you'll rapidly see that. We've got more to do with AI, and I think those kind of 3 tent poles are very important for us. We also have a lot to do with how our customers grow from Starter, Pro, Enterprise, Unlimited, Einstein 1 Edition, and how they progress with the suite, and making sure that as customers grow up, they still have all of the power of what they started with, the Starter. And so you'll see us make announcements in all of those areas at Dreamforce. You'll see some stuff with Slack down the pipe as well, which is going to be exciting. And you'll see some, you know, bundling that we're gonna likely hear launch pretty soon. But I think there's a lot of interesting. We have a lot to do.
Right.
Can you say a little more about the Slack portion? Because in my eyes, one of the next facilitators for usability is the conversation. So I tend to say the conversation is the new UI. Not AI is the new UI, conversation is the new UI.
I don't think I've heard you say that before.
You never listen to me, man.
Yay.
I like being here for you guys to do your dirty laundry.
They are always bullying me, so this is
Yeah. That's why you can't fall out.
God forgive.
Do you think this is a kind of fad that will go away, or do you think this is going to stay?
I think it's going to stay. I think the conversation with AI as a key element to the overall user interface and user experience, I think will be core to the future of CRM products and a lot of other products. To be candid, I think one of the things that we consider is what is the first step in a customer's journey to that? How do they understand the power of the system and understand you don't want to just put, a blank cursor box up there and just say, ask me anything, right? There have to be some guideposts and kind of defaults. And I think we're moving down that kind of path and category. But yeah, I think it's something that's here to stay. And I think more and more we'll get comfortable interacting with those kind of interfaces with more defaults, but also kind of create your own. But again, in that world, what's critical? Well, data is critical, right? And getting those answers requires good, clean, foundational data. And what's great about Salesforce is we're lucky to have the structured data that comes from our applications, lives in Data Cloud. We're also lucky to have the unstructured data that lives in Slack. And more, I think you'll see those things coming together. Things like Sales Elevate is a great first step that we've launched with our Enterprise Edition, allowing customers to interact with Salesforce in Slack. And I think you'll just see more and more of those kind of experiences coming to bear.
Where's the limitation or the limit of conversation as UI?
I don't know. That's beyond me. I think my personal opinion is that apps still remain important, but it's kind of a multimodal. If you think about it in that way, I can have conversations, I can talk to things, but I can still, if I just need to look at a report, I can still click in and see my app. So it's an interesting time for user experience and user interface. And I think you'll see Salesforce continue to push in that direction, just as other companies are pushing in that direction as well.
Are you tracking any particular trends in that direction?
I would say your customers pushing.
Our customers are pushing is an interesting connotation. I think our customers are interested in what AI means. I think we're still early in AI, I think, as everybody is kind of calling out. I think our customers are really looking at how AI is going to greatly benefit them and figuring out their scenarios, whether it be, case deflection or, more agent-like engagement. If you follow Mark on Twitter, you'll see all of the posting he's doing around agents and our Agentforce platform and all of that. So I think those are the right first steps. How do we improve a human user experience and help a human user experience? It's like your assistant in your pocket doing a lot of the basic lifting for you. But I think that's the starting point, and I think we'll get deeper and deeper into that as our customers, understand the value, understand how to make it work for them, and we'll follow suit because, again, we're on the same platform. We get the benefits of everything that the big Salesforce core does, which is great.
Aside of the AI question, what is, as you are one of the companies which has a real good connection in listening to your customers, such as that they can ask you for developments and improvements on the different editions, and you can feed your engineers, your team, with a bunch of ideas. So what are they going for?
Well, I think a lot of it is still for me, it is still that give me tools that are easy to use that enhance my existing experience. Okay. So specifically in marketing and specifically in commerce, we're seeing demand and draw for more and more, which is great, and which is what we actually expected. So you'll see more functionality that you would expect in like a marketing scenario. So things like forums and landing pages and more robust campaign creation tools, different channels. So things like that, which are really still at the baseline a functionality that we need to deliver. And then, I mentioned in commerce, I've started thinking about what do SMBs need to get started? What are the core things that an SMB wants when they're day one and they've started their company? And really, there's a lot of desire around, hey, I need to have a web presence. I need to have a way to reach my customers. As I grow, I need a way to service my customers, and I need a way to sell to them. So if you think about kind of the hierarchy of need, that's how we're chasing, and that's the feedback that we're getting.
Okay. It's cool.
So let's get a little back to the sales process, or your sales process as such.
Oh, yeah.
Now, for whatever reason, an SMB company like Salesforce developed into an enterprise company. For whatever, well, it's probably to do with some great product.
Good product and good marketing.
However, the sales process into a bigger company is vastly different from the sales into a small company with the extreme, outbound, inbound sales. So if I remember correctly, in our first, probably even our second conversation, you talked about the need of philosophy change within the own organization that enables better inbound sales. How's your progress there?
Really good. I think, while Salesforce might be categorized as an enterprise company by a lot, we've really never moved away from the idea that we're very much there for SMBs. Our whole motion around, SEM, SEO, content, and our self-service buying process, we've really focused on that, and we really continue to focus on that, because that, you think about a bigger company selling, you think about pipeline. Well, I think about web traffic as our pipeline, because I think a lot of customers who are starting out, they want to get in, they want to get into a free trial experience, they want to make it work for them, and then they want to transact without talking to anybody. And in fact, the vast majority of our starter customers are zero touch. They come in and they just simply transact through the web, and then they raise their hand when they need something, or they want to graduate to Pro Suite or Enterprise Edition or beyond. So we've definitely focused on, how we reach those customers, how we make it known that we're here for those customers that are just starting out, and how they can graduate with us as they need to. So it's going well. I mean, obviously more work to do. It's a better, never done kind of motion. But it's interesting in tying into the hierarchy of need comment I made a moment ago, which is, we are Salesforce. We are known for sales. But I want to make sure the customers know that we're known for marketing, that we're known for commerce, that we're known for service. And so some of that is breaking new ground, but very, very widely pushed by the organization.
And to raise your perception in the market, such as you have a heart for the SMBs, would be another nice thing, because we talked already about the prejudice that you are for the bigger ones and not for the smaller ones, and you just corrected it in the right direction.
Yeah, we want to be known, and we're starting to show up in places where we haven't in the past, with different events and whatnot, that are more focused on the SMB customer. And we definitely are there for them, and we've built products to that end. And I think that's the most telling thing, is when you build a product that is purpose built for a company that just wants to get going with zero friction. That's what we built, and that's what we've invested in. That's what we continue to invest in.
With zero touch customers, how do you manage customer success?
A couple ways. So we do. They always have the capability to reach out and get help through our existing help channels. We also have, I would say, a nurture campaigns that go along with those customers. They kind of guide them in the process of what they might do next, what they might activate next. But really, the best way to handhold those customers is in product. And so the tools that we have built in product, whether it be our contextual guidance center that is a fly out, or our ability to have quick settings so a customer doesn't need to go into deep setup with the most common actions, or just like I mentioned, the Spotlight library that we just launched, which are the here's what you do next. Because the one thing we realized early on was customers get into the product and it's very much, okay, I'm here, now what? And so we wanted to solve for the now what. And we want to continue to solve for the now what every single day, regardless of where the customer is in their journey. And so that's, I think, the most important thing in product-led growth is to make sure the customer knows now what, regardless of the stage that they're in.
So if they need help, well, you can get only that far with in-app support, which is, of course, the obvious and great first step.
Yeah, I mean, we have a number of tools that are not applicable only to higher editions, but lower editions as well. So our support staff is there to help these customers. Our database of help knowledge is there to help as well, and a plethora of content on our websites help guide through processes. But I'm hopeful that we do enough in product to make it simple for users. I think I shared this with you the last time I was here, but we have a motto on our team is that we are easy by default and advanced only by choice. And we continue with that motto, which is we're providing customers with tools out of the box that just work. They're guided through them and to them. And then if they want to do more, they want to build a custom dashboard, they absolutely can, as an example. But they don't need to because the power of the experience we built for them is there.
We recall the marketing branding Salesforce Easy very vivid.
Yes.
And the built-in help assistance, which is in Pro as in the Starter edition, is still quite impressive compared to the market. So I looked a bit more into the presentations and was quite stunned and said, hey, that is a promise kept so far. And then, and you try nicely. Now, I'm a marketing guy from time to time, not only sales. And I was a bit flashed by, wow, what's all in it? And then I got afraid. Where's the limit? How many campaigns, how many recipients can I do with the $100 version?
Well, so with the $25 version, you get the same as the $100 version. So you get 2,000 email sends on a monthly basis, and we have a hard limit. So we'll send you a notification in product that says you've reached your limit. Would you like to buy more? And you can do so self-service through our experience. We have a little app called Your Account, and it's $10 per 1,000 emails on a monthly basis beyond there. So you're really only capped by
reasonable.
And what we see is customers having success with our email campaigns, buying more, and it's really like if you're not having success, you're not going to buy more. And so we encourage you to have success and buy more, and make sure that we provide the tools that are right for you. So so shouldn't be afraid of hard limits. You're not going to get some big overage bill from us at these tiers.
Now, is email still the main channel that your customers want to use? I mean, we are our customers, basically our kids nowadays. So millennials,
yes,
born in years that start with the 2, and they live on other media than email.
For sure.
So do you see a change there that customers demand more default ability to market in, let's say, TikTok?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, well, I was going to go with WhatsApp is a key channel. SMS obviously a key channel. I see it as an and. We've started with emails where our bread and butter is, but more will be coming, and we know we need it, and we know our customers are demanding the multi-channel capabilities, both through social as well as through other default channels like WhatsApp and SMS. I love the question because I'm excited to bring those things to the product as well.
And we love
How
to
about X?
we love to see it come through, such as Magic Simon drawing, and woof, we have WhatsApp, TikTok, Instagram, you name it, you get it.
So we're looking at about a couple of minutes to go now.
Yeah.
I figure we need to ask you a final question.
All right.
What should that final question be, Kris? What do you think?
You just asked it.
When are we meeting in Dreamforce?
Well, I, for one, am very curious about what we're going to be seeing at Dreamforce next month. And I know you can't give specifics, but can you give us a little teaser, some highlights, something to whet our appetite?
I think you will see from my team and us, you will see a more robust customer 360 coming through Starter and Pro with more integration, with more robust set of tools from our core clouds, more value driven to our customers, and more ability to understand where we're going with AI in these lower tiers. So a lot of exciting stuff. I got to tell you, this is the Dreamforce I'm most excited for in my 6 years at Salesforce. So I think the market is moving very fast. I think it's one to keep your eye on.
I may have to track you down at the show to get more comments about that.
Let's get some time.
Yes.
How about the Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific?
I don't have my calendar in front of me, but we can follow it quickly. I've muted all notifications for you guys.
Yeah.
We will figure something out.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks heaps. This was the last question. How about some famous last words?
I would like
beyond
to say,
Dreamforce.
Well, just thanks for having me. I always love coming on your guys' show. It's so much fun just to interact and engage. You guys bring a lot of great questions to bear, and keep asking them, keep pushing. We're excited for the year ahead, and we're excited, for what we're going to deliver to our customers, because it's at the end of the day, it's all about making them successful. Whether it's through AI or data or apps, it's just about the customer and making them successful. And so I think you guys provide a great forum for us to have those conversations. And I really
now I have a great question for famous last words.
All right, let's hear it.
Please define AI.
Oh, come on, that's
Nice easy one.
I'll leave that for our computer science division.
Well, you asked for hard questions.
No, I did. Well, I really appreciate that. Thanks for having me on.
Our pleasure. Well, I
Thanks
guess
for
that
being
is,
here.
Yeah, that's our condo for today. It's an hour that flew by. Thank you for joining us, dear audience. Thank you very much, Kris, for your time and your answers. I think we all have a much better grasp of what's going on with Salesforce Starter now. And we appreciate that you shared some sneak preview information. That's very kind of you.
Happy to do it.
Tune in next week when we dive into AI Hype Unveil, Usability, Future Insights, and the Real Deal. A German correspondent's take on Silicon Valley and customer-centric AI. With our guest, Matthias Hohensee from, I can't fucking read that, Wirtschaftswoche.
Yeah, perfect. You can do it, Marshall.
Yay!
Go for it.
Woo, I speak German now. He's the correspondent from the leading German weekly magazine in the U.S., and he observes the U.S. market developments. Hopefully you'll be able to join us for that. Until then, thank you very much.
Take care.
We wish you well.
And thanks